Kris, when you have a night like that, when it appears to be kind of loose defensively, I think by the standard you guys can play at, how difficult is it to try to get it back mid-game? Like, how do you do a better job at kind of stopping what was happening?
It's tough to rebound against a team like this. Last year, they were the best defensive team in the league. So, when you're giving them goals, it's tough to get them back. And, offensively, I thought we generated enough. I thought we had enough chances. It wasn't our best night offensively, obviously without the goals, but, their goalie played well and we didn't finish any chances off. But that part wasn't horrendous. But some of the defensive stuff that we did was pretty bad. And I don't know if there was many mistakes, but the mistakes that we made were just not good enough.
Kris, how did you feel like you were able to contend with Winnipeg's speed tonight?
I don't think we had any problem with their speed. I thought we had the puck most of the night, so it was just the mistakes that we made. And it wasn't mistakes that we were under pressure. It was just, yeah.
A lot of guys making their Oilers debut. One was Ty Emberson, who got a pretty prominent role with next to Darnell Nurse, at least for 2 periods. What did you think of his debut with the team tonight?
I think there was a lot of guys that could have been better. And I don't think he was stood out either way. I don't think he was great or I don't think he was terrible. So I think it was just, like a lot of guys with our night, just kind of was there, not positive or negative.
What's the balance between relax, it's only one game, and relax, it's only one game is exactly what the team was saying last year at this point?
I don't know. I've been coaching for a while, not here obviously, but I've seen a lot of bad games, and I've seen my teams respond, and not my team, but teams, no matter what league it is. So, yeah, I don't know. We got punched pretty good tonight. I don't know. We've always been able to respond. Last year, I was happy with our guys when we did have a bad game. We usually responded really well. So we'll see this weekend. I was asked this morning about how we, evaluating the preseason and when to be alarmed. I think it's one game. After this weekend, definitely that'll be a tell of where we are at.
Stu Skinner obviously was disappointed with the way he played tonight, but just maybe a thought on kind of the decision you had to make there, whether leave him in, take him out. I know you waited till commercial break, so kind of one of those tough ones in the first game of the year with your starter.
Yeah, Stu, I don't think any of the goals were bad goals. Sometimes you pull your goalie and it's like, ooh, what were you doing on those? I don't think there was any of those. But I also don't think there was any saves, any big ones. We left him out to dry. The defensive lapses to put him in that position. It's not fair for any goaltender. But there's a point in the game that we had to make that change, and, yeah, we did that.
Matthias Ekholm said sense of urgency defending maybe wasn't quite there. Like, would you agree? What do you think the main problem or issue you saw with the way you defended tonight was?
Yeah. I think there might have been a couple times that maybe we're out of position a little bit, but I think mostly it was the urgency, closing plays, just fighting to come up with the puck rather than just being there. And I think too many times we were just there.
Kris, you put Leon and Connor together late in the second period. How hard did you fight not to do that, considering your first 2 lines? You want to get some chemistry from those 2
I know
lines.
they're going to be playing together. We played in our last exhibition game in Vancouver. And third period, I had already had it arranged before the game started that they would be together just to have that some time together, because in the regular season, they're going to spend a lot of time together. So whether that's when we're chasing a game, started games, whatever, they'll play. So, yeah, there's no, I don't want to do that. It's just, something that's going to happen.
Would you say your fourth line was your best line?
I thought our third line was really good. I thought they spent a lot of times. I don't recall them ever being in Any trouble? Connor Brown had 2 grade A deflections in the slot. They set up the shorthanded one. I thought the third line was really good. Other than the one shift that that fourth line got scored against, or 2 of them were out there. Besides that shift, I thought they played pretty well.
Thank you.
Kris, your penalty kill, you'd mentioned you wanted to use Arvidsson. Him and Henrique seemed to start, and then you go to Brown and Janmark, and then you had Podkolzin and Nugent Hopkins. Is that kind of the rotation you want to see?
No, we had penalties a couple times. And also there's a couple times where guys were tired from being on the ice, and then we had to change it up. So, yeah, the pairs were pretty much the same, but who starts in the rotation was dictated just on game situation.
Kris, everyone was talking about turning the page from last season. Does a loss like this help turn the page, or does it illustrate how tough that might be to do going into this season?
I think it's tough. You obviously had an incredible year that finished with disappointment, and it's tough to just say, forget about it. Let's think about now. But there's a point where we need to do that, and like I said, I think our hearts were into it. I liked the start of our game. The pace was good. And then just some mistakes led into some trouble.